Hello, dear Earthlings. Congratulations, you made it to the other side of the eclipse tunnel. It has been a very tumultuous few weeks of highs and lows, and you made it. So pat yourself on the back. There's a lot of movement going on energetically, and I wanted to speak to the energetic forecast moving forward for the next about 30 days. So we had Scorpio transformation energy, deep, deep, deep emotions and release. And we know that that is the sign of death and rebirth. And boy, did we feel it. So I wanted to talk about some key topics of self-betrayal, self-sabotage, really identifying a trigger and discerning what higher self is calling you to do versus ego. Because quite frankly, it is really hard to operate with the higher self if all you've known is what you've been functioning with in ego form. And ego is not bad, it's there to protect us, but it's who we've become over time based on our experiences. It's there to shield us and protect us, but it also creates false illusions that we believe that this allow us to propel into our highest selves, to keep us down. And a lot of it is our surroundings and the programming, and I've spoken to that previously. I won't go into that now, but I want you to understand that there is so much at play here working in our favor. In order for us to really show up as our new evolved selves, and healing is in layers, it's circular, it's not linear, it's not something you can check off the box. Inner child done, shadow healing done, ancestral healing done. Sometimes we need to revisit things to look deeper within the surface. And if there are recurring patterns that are triggering you, then you know that there's something else that has to be looked at. And a trigger is information for what you need to heal. But when we're in the trigger, it is really hard to pull ourselves out if we're not conscious of the fact that it's a trigger. In the midst of Mercury retrograde, the perfect storm, right? Eclipses and retrogrades. So with communication, it's telling us, it's allowing us to refine how we communicate, to go slow, to refocus, repattern, and then allow the communication flow to happen. You would probably already seen it already, emails not coming through, text messages sent completely misspelled, even though you did the auto check speller, whatever you call that feature. There's a lot of crossing of information that's being missed, and it's forcing us to take a step back. It doesn't mean that our lives end, that we go into a tunnel and go hide until June 2nd. It means that we need to review. It allows us to go back and review patterns. And it's all about the mind, how we communicate and how we process our thinking. So in the middle of this Mercury loveliness, we had the eclipse energy coming in, just pulling us apart. Because when you think about all of the solar energy we've been taking on, all of the energetic shifts happening, I'm sure you may have noticed, like the exhaustion, the deep sleep, the wanting to constantly take a break. Our bodies are energetically changing, and pretty much it's like it's a filtration system, and it's removing the toxins and all the negative patterns that don't really serve us anymore. And it's been harder to resist because we are really alchemizing into this new energy. So last week, I literally had a few meltdowns myself, and I am going through this process with you all. I am just a way shower, a light worker, just showing the rest of us that may be a few steps behind or just starting to awaken. I'm holding space for you all. But I am not exempt, neither are any of the light workers. So we go through this just like you. And yeah, I had to revisit my wound itself and say, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're tapping into higher self. We're moving into our new self. And it's like we're in between two worlds. And you most identify with your old self, but because you have gained this higher level of consciousness, you know that that's not what's serving you most. So now you need to get reacquainted with your new self. The new self that honors him or herself. The new self that upholds boundaries. The new self that does not betray oneself or sabotage opportunities. And because you believed for so long that you were not worthy. And this is a common thread pretty much with everyone. And worthiness is what is going to bring whatever it is that you wish to seek in your life. Because if you cannot vibrate to that resonance of what you wish to acquire, it will not vibrate back to you. So remember that this work, even though we don't like to go through the muck and the pain and the processing, with each deep release, we're getting stronger. We're connecting to who we really are. We are finally understanding that we do not need to believe the old paradigm, the old thought processes of who we're not or who we're told that we were supposed to be. And it's not serving us to even entertain that anymore. So the Scorpio lunar eclipse is created a complete new reset of our energy. It's like a new chapter, a new beginning. And now we are welcoming in a lot of shifts, and the planet of Mars and Jupiter, which is action, how we move forward, is moving to Aries in a couple days. And Aries is a go-getter, fire, take action. So we're moving from that dreamy Pisces that was in Mars, that was allowing us to be in our feels and be a little bit more clouded with our judgments, not knowing which way to go, that wishy-washy energy that is also connecting us to our soul. But Aries is about forward momentum, forward movement, fire. So now all of the things that we were ruminating or processing and all of the new beginnings, because we're being redirected on a new path, whether it is career, whether it is personal goals or relationships, health, like whatever area of your life that you've been trying to redirect, this eclipse is providing you a new direction to go to. So now, with the support of Aries and Jupiter and Mars, we're propelling forward. And we're entering the season of Gemini, which is air. Air is beautiful for also moving forward with the fire. Air feels fire. So we now have the access to put into play all the things in a practical way. We'll be moving out of Mercury retrograde. We've done all of our reviews, all of our assessing, and now it is time to put it into practice. Now it is time to make it a tangible new chapter. And now we know what we know after we've gone through the processing. So it is a time now of more clarity. It is now a time of us understanding that we are able to move through change and that it is going to be okay, and to trust the unknown, because we know that with control and fear, we cannot get very far, because fear disallows us to receive blessings. It blocks your blessings when you stay in fear as a low vibration. When you try to control outcomes, you will soon realize that you're not in control. So a lot of lessons have been learned, hopefully, because they'll repeat, right? And we are not in charge of anyone else's healing, only ours, unless you do healing work like I do for a living. But we cannot control outcomes. We cannot force things. And when you move in flow, when you move in that integrity of will that you value, because that's what another area that we've been looking at with Taurus on the solar eclipse. We identified what we value now most, what we love now, and our connection to money. All of that is shifting. The stock market has been tanking, which is, yes, a great opportunity for people to buy now. But it's scary for those that are in fear, right? So we need to check ourselves and know that it's false evidence appearing real. What is going to hold us back is if we stay in fear and start getting to know your new self. He or she or they are spectacular because this is who we really are. So embrace all the shedding, embrace all the cocooning. We are moving into a nice energy flow until the next situation, right? But just understand that it's not scary when you know that it's for a higher purpose. And as you elevate yourself and your human consciousness, you are emitting that vibration to the collective. Because we are all interwoven, whether we want to face it or not. We really are. Our duality. And Gemini is big on that, understanding the ability to do multiple things, the good versus the bad. And while we're integrating those, because we're loving our shadows, we're acknowledging them, we're taming ego, we're integrating, we're becoming one. As we do that, we liberate others to do that too. And then we become a light torch for the next person and next person and next person. And that's what this ascension process is about, for a grand awakening, so that we can vibrate higher and have more harmony as a planet and rid of all of the toxic, negative, low vibrating energy that has stifled us, that has held us back. Choose peace, choose love, choose happiness, and make that decision for you. So if you haven't been working with anyone, I recommend that it's always helpful to have an energy clearing or just an assessment of where you are. Because as much as we want to hold space for ourselves and do it all ourselves, we need others. We need each other. And that's not codependency. It's that it's part of our humanity. We're supposed to support and help love one another. So I'm going to leave the video here. It's always a great honor to work with you all and those that are watching from afar. Thank you. Please subscribe, press like, comment, and stay connected to me on social media. I will be rolling out some new events and online course, hopefully by the summer. And I really look forward to sharing the experience from the perspective of a secular woman who left corporate and has evolved into the sacred world, who has converted a lot of negative patterns, a history of abuse, and inner child wounding, and I have transmuted that to help and empower all of you so that you can free yourselves and see who you really are and your mission in this incarnation. So much love, and remember to embrace yourself, empower yourself to seek that light inside of you where all the answers lies. Much love. Be well.